Hi, I'm Crystal Carson, and this is Financial Buzz. We're in Vancouver at the Lithium Forum with Mackie Research, and I have Shayne Nyquvest, one of the shareholders, partners, and founders of Mackie Research. Now, Shayne, you have a history, and the firm has a history of leading trends and identifying new opportunities, new industries, and new sectors. What did you see, and when did you identify lithium as one of these sectors?
Well, not being too smart myself, I've managed to surround myself with smart people like Paul Brockington. Paul Brockington was the godfather of the diamond game when I moved out here some 30-odd years ago, who fortunately I wasn't smart enough to know there was no diamonds in Canada, so we financed a few companies. It's now 15% of the world's diamond supply, $15 billion a year, and more importantly, 8,000 jobs. Paul suggested somewhere about a year and a half ago that there was a new industry called lithium and battery metals, and within that was a petrolithium opportunity that he thought was north of 20 billion plus. So the concept back 20 years or 30 years ago in the diamond game, which required a lot of money for capital development and whatnot, was to promote industries as opposed to individual companies. So in our opinion, this is an industry that will be 20 billion plus, create a lot of jobs, and as such it'll shake up a few foundations that exist today that won't always be too happy with new players on the block. But you know, every industry's been affected by technology and the advent of technology. Tesla, I think, is a testament to what that industry is all about. Battery metals and guys like John Burba from FMC, who put the original, he's the only guy who's ever been issued a patent, and at that point lithium was extraction cost of $600 a ton. When lithium was $300 a ton, it's now $32,000 a ton, and most 43101s are being done at $12,000, which is still a healthy margin for, you know, economic development. So you take guys like that, backstop them, and avoid any ability to be influenced by existing players and create the capital they need, and they'll beat the path to, you know, there's new industries and new developments everywhere these days, and the technology is usually the key to what makes the change. So all we do is try and provide the capital, which is what a basic market is, as opposed to derivatives and all the rest of the junk that comes out of there. We're here to finance and make big ones out of little ones, and it's that simple. So we hope you'll help us, and we're here to support the guys who do that, and regulations and regulatory reform and all the rest of it are part and parcel of how you get over some of these hurdles, let's say, and get on with what's really important, which is creating jobs and making big ones out of little ones.
Well, thank you, Shayne. That was a lot of great information that you shared. I think that there was a panel of some really great companies that you've been involved in today. What made you choose these companies? And I think you talked about that a bit more, but you know, can you just kind of name some of the companies that were up there and your involvement?
Well, Jared Lazarusson was probably the first guy to take the plunge and you know, came up with a little vial of lithium that was the first production out of an oil well. I think it cost us about $3 million to produce that much. Now you got to take that and put it into economic form. EM3 is a fellow who sold a little company called Nexen for about $22 billion. Tried to retire, was a little too bored, and decided that he could come out and be a game changer as well. So he's got some financial strength. And John Burba is, as I said, the original and only guy who's ever been issued a patent for the extraction of lithium from oil wells, and is at the forefront of. But patents, unfortunately, are going to be an extremely important part because it's a bit of a nasty industry. They tend to borrow things without permission. And, you know, to get that done and get it all put together is why we had Anthony Osler here today, who has, you know, filed patents on about 3 Nobel winners, and is an important part of protecting the strategy that these junior companies put together and plan to, extrapolate into producing economic companies and creating jobs. So
Right.
Burba is the godfather of. He's only spent 40 years in this at FMC developing this prospect and is the most qualified expert that exists. But it's an industry that today is 3 companies, and I'd be willing to say that it'll be 30 or 300 over the next 5 or 10 years. So, you pays your money, you takes your chances, and there's no risk-free guarantees in anything, but that's the purpose that the exchange should exist for. Taking people with money to investing it in good quality people and creating good quality companies. It's really that simple.
Well, thank you, Shayne. I really appreciate you being here today, and thanks to the viewers for tuning in. We are financialbuzz.com. Follow us on social.